Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Sheena and I'm a digital content creator, Etsy shop owner, and illustrator based in New York City. So as you can tell by this title, we'll be talking about the reasons of why you may not be getting any clients, and trust me, this is not clickbait. I hope to give you guys all useful information that has worked for me that will hopefully help you to build your client base and start making some money doing what you love to do. So if you like videos like this, be sure to subscribe to support this channel. And without further ado, let's jump in. All right, so first off, I really hate seeing videos where people are talking about like certain points or advice and they're not really showing any proof in the pudding. And so I do want to mention that while I am not like fully experienced in this industry and making millions of dollars a year, I do feel like I am a fairly successful freelancer so far, and I do have a decent client base that I built up in a short amount of time. I've also made several $1,000s this year doing what I'm going to mention in this video as far as building a client base. So I hope this is helpful to you guys. Let's not waste any more time. Let's jump into the first reason of why you may not be getting clients. So reason number one is because no one knows who you are. And I say this all the time and it may come off like pretty harsh, but it is the truth. And when I started my YouTube channel at zero, no one knew who I was either. When I started my Instagram and started to slowly post, no one knew about my Instagram besides like my boyfriend, a couple of friends that I worked with. You have to basically create a presence and attract people to you. Now, let's talk about ways that you can start building your presence online. There are going to be free options. There are going to be options that cost a little bit of money, but they're all worth it. Now, number one, if you have not done this, go ahead and do it right now. Like, there's no reason to wait. These are all free options. Go online and go to every social sharing platform that you can find and create a username that ties to what it is that you do. And to just list off the different platforms that can get you clients, we're talking Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. Let's never forget LinkedIn, you guys. These are all places where you can start building up your name, and eventually when your page starts to grow and you get more clients, everything will be super cohesive and pretty. And then the two forms of kind of building a presence that may cost you a bit of money is getting a domain and starting to run ads. Now, getting a domain just means having a website that is the name of your business, or maybe it's your name, whatever it has to do with your profession. So that is me getting the website She Meets City, because that is my platform here. That is what I am calling my channel. Domains do cost money. So if you go on GoDaddy and you find your domain, it's available, it's gonna cost you a couple bucks. It's usually like an annual fee or a quarterly fee. I still say it's worth it. Even if you have no website design, you're not sure where it's headed, it never hurts to just save the domain, because one day you will need it. So I say go ahead and get it before someone else does. It is worth that small investment. And the other investment is to go ahead and pay for ad space. Now, I've done this here and there, like on Facebook, I've done it on Etsy as well, but usually you can take about like maybe $5 and you can get this platform to basically run a campaign that points users back to a post, back to a product. It can be anything. And to me, I have seen that these platforms do a decent job of returning those clients, those followers back to your account, and you just sit back and do nothing. You let them use their analytics, their algorithms, and their marketing tools to find more people in your industry. So again, these small investments can take you so far, especially as your business grows, and you can even do all the free options just to get started. But the online presence, the presence in general, is so important. If no one knows who you are, you cannot get clients. Now, I have seen some requests to do a video regarding like how to build an audience organically, and not like BS tips that you see all over YouTube, like just be yourself. We're talking like real advice, and I decided that I want to do a more curated series on my Patreon, so stay tuned for that. But right now I'm thinking the launch date is going to be July 1st. I just need to go ahead and put it out there. I've already started setting up the podcasting. I already have my first blog post, so just stay tuned for that. But I will definitely have more dedicated material for those of you who are really trying to grow your brand or your Etsy shop or whatever it is it may be. Okay, so the second reason why you may not be getting any clients is because you do not have any work or proof in the pudding to show them. Like, think about it. Would you let someone come in and do interior decorating in your house and they have nothing to show you? They haven't designed anything else. They don't have any before and afters. Like, how could you trust them with your home? They may slap some ugly ass color on the wall that doesn't go. It's all about having some type of portfolio. Now, if you're talking like super old school portfolios, back in the day, people would physically like create a binder of like their work. If you're an artist, you would basically get all your art printed and put it in this little book and walk around and market it. But in today's society, especially with technology, that is a thing of the past. It's a very archaic way of doing things unless like your college requires it or a program requires it. But I believe overall, the online portfolio is super important because you can reach people near and far. Now you're probably thinking like, Sheena, where is your online portfolio? I don't see you having one. And that is true. Your girl does not have an online portfolio that is public simply because I am not 100% sure what I want to put out there as far as like, do I show every customer project that I've done? Is this the style that I want to put online? And so because I haven't gotten all of those thoughts gathered and have it solidified, I've just decided to not upload my portfolio to my site until I have fully revamp my site and I have a nice clean portfolio that I can be proud of. However, if clients do contact me and they're inquiring about work, I do have a private portfolio that is in my Dropbox that I can show them so that I can access it anytime and anywhere to ensure that my clients can see what I'm capable of. Now, I know the next follow-up question is like, what if I don't have any previous client work or any previous jobs? Like, how do I show these clients what I'm capable of? So let's break it into two. If you are in a non-creative industry, like maybe you're just in like real estate or IT or something like that, more than likely you need to have a resume more than a visual portfolio, right? So I do have a professional resume that basically has to only do with my IT, management, and consultant based work. So what I would have on that resume are all the jobs that I've had previously that have to do with the IT field, maybe huge projects that I've worked on, kind of showing the before and after and what I was able to accomplish. Like, that's a completely separate professional portfolio. Now, if you've never had a real full-time job, maybe you're like just now starting out and trying to figure it out, you definitely want to pull from anywhere that you can. So when I was trying to get my first job, which was like Forever 21, I had no work experience. I was like 16 years old. So I went ahead and pulled from my extracurricular activities, and like I did DECA. So I pulled from that. I did a bit of work study. So I pulled from that. Try to find any type of work that you've done in your life, even if it wasn't for a brand or a company, and try to add it into that professional resume, because it's a lot better than showing up with nothing. Now, when it comes to the creative field, you still want to have a visual portfolio, even if you've never had any clients. All that means is that you're constantly creating and putting work into this portfolio. So if you draw on a whim, or you're just like randomly inspired to do a portrait, that can still go into your portfolio even though you just made it for yourself. The client doesn't have to know that you just made it for yourself. Now, if they ask, like, do you have any work that was done for any brands or clients? Definitely be honest. There's no reason to lie, but the work speaks for itself. So even if someone sees me do a drawing that I just did like for my best friend, it's still a great drawing, right? So they'll still give me an opportunity if they're willing to trust me with their brand and with their project. So don't sell yourself short. If you are someone who has like a sketchbook full of art, go to a scanner and start getting those things scanned into your computer and upload them to Dropbox so you have those ready for any clients that may come along. I'm sure you have something that you have made that you can show to a client. And the final takeaway when it comes to the whole portfolio and getting more clients is you should have some sort of niche so that the client is not confused as to what you're capable of doing. Now, looking at someone like me who does like website building and consulting and IT and illustrations and even an Etsy shop, I've just found a way to keep all those professions but separate them. So I would never have a mixed portfolio of like all of my artwork and IT work and give it to an IT client, because it just seems like I'm scatterbrained. Like, is she here to do artwork or is she here to fix my networking, you know? So I do make sure to separate them. So just depending on what type of client I have, that is the portfolio or resume that I will push out there. So I hope that makes sense, but don't feel like you have to be stuck down one road. If you have a talent that you've always had, like graphic designing, but now you want to get into being a yogi, you can still do graphic designing on the side and make your money and have an entire Instagram just dedicated to being a yogi and opening your studio. All right, and the final reason why you may not be getting any clients is because you are not networking wisely. And I tack wisely on the end because there is a way to networking. There is like an etiquette to it. Because I worked in the tech and IT field, when I think of networking, I'm obviously thinking about like how computers and servers do networking. So let's quickly talk about that. So when you're talking about networking from an IT standpoint, it's just when multiple machines, servers, computers are speaking to each other, right? And so think about having multiple computers in an office. There is a very good chance that they are all made to network with each other. So you're able to share files and resources across all of these machines. And it's kind of like a back and forth thing, right? So it's like a transaction. You have information and resources going out and in. Networking from a human standpoint is basically the same thing. You are meeting up with multiple people, brands, businesses, and you're somehow trading resources or connecting in some type of way. It's the same thing. So I hope you guys pick up on the key term that I'm saying here is that it goes both ways. And I feel like that's where most people fail in the networking realm, is that it's a very one-way street and they don't realize that that can be very off-putting. So let me give you guys some quick examples. So networking is not coming onto someone's Instagram or Twitter or Pinterest and saying, hey, repost my work because I love what you do, thanks. That is not networking, and that interaction can end up going one of two ways. Either you do some really great work and that person clicks on your profile and goes, whoa, this person is really fucking dope, I'm gonna go ahead and share them, and that's just because they want to. Or the second scenario is they can be very offended by that, and it can be very off-putting because off the bat, it's like, number one, I don't know you, and number two, like, why do I owe you a share? Like, no one owes you anything, and that's what you have to keep in the back of your mind when you're networking. While yes, you do want to get something out of it, the end user does not owe you anything, and that's how I think we should all approach networking so that no one feels pressured. Another way to not network is spamming people's comments. And I see this all the time on like Instagram and even on YouTube. That is you basically throwing a comment into someone else's community and platform without their permission because you're inadvertently trying to direct traffic back to your page. And that to me is like, it's a turnoff because you haven't really told me much about who you are. We haven't connected in any type of way, but here you are saying that my entire audience of whatever size should go back to your page. Like, do you guys see how that sounds kind of weird? So to me, that is not a good form of networking. That is a one-way transaction. Now, while I'm super supportive of anyone in my community who is trying to grow, there is a way to do this. And I will say, like, one thing that I pride myself on is that when I was starting out, I did not in any way, shape, or form spam people's pages. So even someone like Catnip, who I still look up to and think is totally amazing, I've never gone to her page and like spammed her. Instead of doing that, why not send her a nice care package? Or why not DM her and say, you really inspire me. We're in the same industry. I'm trying to start making, enamel pins or, totes, and you totally helped me out with that. Thank you. To me, that's more of an organic way to kind of let this person know that you support them and you would appreciate their support without being too pushy. Think about it. If you're on Instagram and all you do is like scroll, and maybe give a couple of hearts here and there, that's not exactly interacting, right? That's not networking. So you can't expect to DM someone and say, hey, share my work, and they're just going to go onto their social platform and just share. Are you sharing other people's work? Are you supporting other people? Are you DMing and saying, you look great today, or I really love how you did that sketch? Most likely not. So you can't expect other people to do that as well. And one thing I've started to become so much better at doing is slowing down on Instagram and really taking time to find out who is in my network and just trying in any way, shape, or form to support them and their craft. And something as simple as resharing someone's post or someone's artwork or time lapse can go a far way, and you'll gain a lot of respect from them and maybe even a friendship. Just try to approach everything from just a place of kindness, and it will usually come back to you, which is a perfect segue for how I'm going to wrap all of this up. Is most of my networking has come from me just being kind to people. And I feel like that's something that no one wants to do. They just want everyone to just be a good Samaritan, a good citizen, and just put them on. And that's not how it works. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys 2 examples with receipts because I know everyone likes to see proof. So I met a fellow designer on Instagram, and she does amazing work. She's really cool. I love watching her stories. And it just so happens that she had a photographer in her network that was looking for an illustrator. And because I was posting to my Instagram, helpful tips and commenting on her work and encouraging her, she actually told this photographer about me. So that photographer ended up DMing me, as you guys can see here, letting me know that she had a client who needed illustration work. And that small little connection that I made there without expecting anything back, just being nice to this person on Instagram, turned into a project that was several $100s and gave the client a product that she can be really happy with. At the end of the day, I did not know the client and she did not know me, but everyone else from the inside somehow connected us. Like, you guys see how that works? It's just like, it's a beautiful thing. Second scenario involves a guy that I worked with in IT. He was such a hard worker. He would drop what he was doing and come help you out if you were just like really in a hard place. And I just kind of became a mentor to him. And even though, like 2 years later, we've gone different ways and I've gone to freelancing and he has stayed in IT, he has not forgotten what I've done for him. And of course, I have not forgotten the experiences that we've had. We've actually become friends because of this. And recently he had a contracting job come up and he did not go around, vetting different people and reaching out different contractors. He immediately reached out to me and said, Sheena, there's this opportunity. It should be simple work for you with what you do. It's a half-day job. It's good money. Do you want it? And I did not prospect that job whatsoever. I was just at home minding my business, and this opportunity was dropped into my lap because 2.5 years ago I looked out for this person and took him under my wing, and now he is reaching back out and saying, hey, let me help you, let me pull you up, I have some opportunities for you. So you guys see how that works. It's like being a nice person, not expecting anything in return, but everything does come back to you somehow. It's kind of like good karma, All right, guys, so I really hope this video was straightforward and helpful, and that maybe after this video, you'll try out some of these different things and start to get yourself a larger client base. And if you are in the market for any IT or website work or even an illustration, be sure to hit me up at hello@SheMeetsCity and let me know what you're thinking about, and we can work it out together. So I really appreciate you guys. This is your girl signing off, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.